This is attempt number 2 for my gluten-free crab cakes. It's the one that was inspired initially by the podcast Andrew Talks to Chefs. I think that was episode 106. And Josh Sneed talked about Jean-Louis Palladin making the crab cake for the first time after not even knowing what a crab cake was because he's French and not from Maryland. The recipe, you see, I didn't really measure much this time around. I was weirdly more confident going into it. And I had a good idea what I wanted to do, and the effects were going to be different. So the base recipe was half a pound of scallops, one lobster tail, half a cup of cream ish, one egg, a little green onion, some tomato, and a can of crab. This time I put the lobster in it because that was the original recipe. And initially I didn't have the scallops, but I realized I didn't have enough lobster, so I got the scallops. These scallops were from Walmart. I think I paid like $6.50 a pound for them, and they were waterlogged. They kind of almost were gelatinous. The texture was off. The all around not great. It's better to pay more. Um, Still using the stick blender. I didn't get a better blender in between attempts. I should have broken up the crab the way that I did the first time around. That would have made mixing it easier to do without crushing the mousse, but I didn't, so I had to figure it out. Got my hand all messy this time around. I was right that adding the extra crab would make the ratio better, and it would make it more like a crab cake and less like a mousse. And as far as all that went, mission was accomplished. 300 degrees. I have no idea how long I let them go, but it wasn't long. And once they were set, and the temp I think was in like 135, 140 range, they were good. It'd be nice to figure out how to put some color on them. I think going at a higher temperature would work, but I would worry that doing the higher temperature would make them crunchy and chewy, like overcooked shellfish. I'll probably try it next time though. I had the idea to serve it with a gazpacho and a horseradish creme fraiche. The idea was, crab leg cocktail, shrimp cocktail, something along those lines. I figured use the gazpacho like a cocktail sauce. Put the horseradish in the creme fraiche, and then it would be because the crab cake is very crabby. It's after the mousse melts away. It's pretty much like taking a bite of crab meat. I figured it might hit some of that cocktail note. I didn't bother with the horseradish. I think maybe I should have. The gazpacho is just 4 tomatoes, part of an onion, a Cuban pepper, some garlic, some oil. It's kind of funny that I decided to make the crab cake gluten free with no breadcrumbs. And then I added a piece of focaccia to the gazpacho. Um, I read somewhere that using bread to make the gazpacho thicker was fairly standard. I don't know if that's actually true, but the focaccia I used was made with Italian double O flour, and because it was imported, I am actually able to eat it. That same flour won't work to make a standard crab cake. Ultimately, the recipe did what I wanted it to do. It could be better. I can add more shrimp, um, better better scallops. A better blender might actually make a better mousse too. But ultimately, it worked. The garnish was a garlic oil with some paprika and then just some parsley.